Alright, hello everyone. I am Braxton, and this is BWC Racing. This is one of the weekends we went out and practiced recently, and this is joint effort trail out in Sand Hollow. It was a fun trail, nice little short one. Overall short. It's definitely difficult enough to be a good practice trail. Do you want to mention they're just cold and it is pretty dry though? In some spots it was drier, but some spots it's not. And I do want to say this. In this video, I don't have a locker. We have a gas leak that we have fixed now. But at the time of filming, I didn't have a locker. So, yeah. Getting up to the first obstacle here. I do want to say this, a lot of this video is going to be mostly music and footage. I'll be explaining obstacles as they come up, but other than that, it'll be you guys watching the footage with some music. The trick to this obstacle is you pull your tire up, your passenger side tire, up on the wall on that passenger side. It'll level out the car. And then pretty much your rear tire will just follow it. So, I mean, it's not too horrible of an obstacle. It actually really isn't too super hard at all. Pushing on that driver cutter, get that passenger tire to grip up and level up and on that wall. Front dig here. Pull the front around. See that wall there? That wall's gonna pull up now. That tire. Up. Plopped up on the top there. Pushing that driver cutter to get it to rotate. Or get my passenger tire to spin. This next obstacle up here is just a wall. I mean, it's nothing too major. Definitely needed to use some throttle though. It was slick enough in that spot that it wouldn't just crawl up it. So see me pushing on the cutters there. That's to create a locker effect. Uses both brakes to make it so both tires spin. Just gonna use some wheel spin here to get it to lock up there. Cleaning the tires out if they were sandy. That's really all it took to get up that. So here my parents in that buggy right there. I'm gonna go behind me as I lead. This next obstacle was wet and cold and slippery and took some effort. It's like a V-notch with a step up into the V-notch, if I remember right. See here, trying to pull up on that side right there. Pushing on that driver cutter to get it to spin more towards the driver so the tires hook and pull. And we're going to go all the way passenger. Just try to stay on the lip until we get to a point where the front tires will hook. Using the cutters to make that locker effect. Just slipping and sliding. That's all there is. See the rear start to pull up there. Maybe. Might be the front. You can reverse, get centered again, or attempt to get centered. See the tire marks there where the driver tire is. Slipping and sliding, turning driver so when it slides it hopefully hooks and pulls up. Like that. Using that driver cutter to get that passenger tire to spin to pivot. Now this is the step up into a V-notch, I believe. Just slipping. Going closer to the passenger to hope it would hook and pull. See it pulling up there. Now I do want to say this, on the passenger side, it is not flat. It is something that you stay on to keep it even so the car will pull up. You can see trying to get that passenger tire back up there. Like so. And I'm using my cutters to get certain tires to pull up. It's pretty leany, pretty vertical as well. And oh, I'm using a passenger cutter, using both cutters. That locker effect so the tires pull up. And oh, it's so close. And there it goes. Well, almost. Now there it goes. Now we're at the top. See the next obstacle up there. Alright, pulling up to the obstacle here. I'm not gonna lie. This one should not have been this hard, but the sand just kept it sliding. Like it got right here and didn't move like the entire time. Now I'm realizing now, I literally could have just backed up and bumped it and would have got up it, but I'm a little slow. So, you know, don't even worry about it. Oh well. Yeah, I'm just digging holes like this entire part. So, picking it back up here to get realigned. This time, it'll make it up it. I did cut out 2 attempts because it was not... It wasn't worth it for you guys to watch that footage. Me just sit there struggling. See, the rear pulled up, and then it was slippery all the way to the actual obstacle. I just slip it as sliding. I mean, really, that's a lot of what the day was slippery rock. Getting up to the main obstacle here. It is a big rock on the driver's side, and it's sort of like a ramp on the passenger side. But it's a steeper ramp, so it's not like super easy. But it was wet, and depending on where your rear tire landed, it just didn't do it. I'm trying to stay high on that driver's side. You can see the tire there. On the driver's side, just so the rear driver will float a little bit and get it past like that. And boom, just like that, up at the top. We keep on rolling through here. This wasn't really an obstacle, but I'll throw it in there. It's just a little up. And really, it'll walk right up it. Now here we ran into some Razor people, side-by-sides, out here on the trail. And we're going to drop into a little bowl type thing. It's really not a hard obstacle. Honestly, I took it slower than I needed to, because I didn't know what was off the passenger side. And the biggest downside with this car is I can't really see the tires at all. It's because the dash is so big, I think, and the way it's all, I don't know, designed. But still going here. Moving through nicely. This is just a bunch of rocks side by side, really. It's really nothing hard. Honestly, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's anything horrible. Using the cutters to get that locker effect. Now this obstacle is just a really tall one. On the driver's side, you see that little lip right there? That's where your tire is normally supposed to be. But, I mean, I didn't need it this time, so... That's where I had my tire last time. And it also walked right up it, so... Just moving through these rocks. It's a good day out on the mountain. Definitely saw a lot of buddies out there. through the bottom half of this trail. It's just a drop. I mean, it's nothing serious. Stay farther on the driver's side. Otherwise, it'll be a bigger drop than it needs to be. But, see, I put it in neutral there, wiggling the servo, just because of how much the car drives through the brakes. Like, even in third, that's supposed to be the best gear for brakes, but it still pushed right through it. And normally going high for that and go high first, I don't know, I just felt lazy, I guess, and didn't do it. But using the cutters there, some back brakes. Boom, nice little drop there. My drink fell. It's pretty sad. But that's the first half of joint effort. And there is an obstacle off to the driver's side right here that I am going to try. The video is going to go on for a little bit longer. And we do believe it's a rear steer car line. But honestly, I think if I had my locker that day, I think I could have done it, personally. I don't know. That's me communicating to my dad whether or not to try it. So, doing a front dig here to spin it around. Now this is literally, you wedge your car in there, and it just pulls up. It's just one of those cracks. It's two straight walls. It's something, alright? Like, it's nothing super easy. Put it in front dig to try to get that front to pull up. Put it back in 4. Using the cutters there. And see the front pulling up. Nah, I do want to say this was impressively steep, and yeah, like it was pretty steep. I mean, trying to listen to my dad there, who's up there spotting me. It's very hard without comps. Yeah, the car is very loud. Get in the rear, trying to get that rear passenger to pull up. And you'll see real quick, it's gonna do too much and the rear driver will fall in. Honestly, there it is. Rear tire fell in the hole. And I'm not gonna lie, right there, felt real bad. Now we're figuring out how to back me out. And that front tire is on the edge. It's like, it's the sidewall holding on to the rock until about there. And then I try to put it and try to steer it the other way. Oh, not yet. Because my front's not far enough on that rock yet. I'm gonna get there. And then steering doesn't move. It locks out. And it's like, but that's where I want it to be, but it's not going to do that. I honestly think if that rear tire didn't fall in the hole, I think if I would have had a little bit more throttle control there, it would have been fine. You can see how sideways it is with the GoPro trying to fix itself. It was so sideways. That was the most uncomfortable position I've been in that car since I rolled over in it in Farmington. Yeah, at Nationals last year. Find that on my Instagram, BWC Racing. I do want to say this is the most uncomfortable I've been in the car since the first time I rolled it, I think, because in Farmington, I wasn't horribly uncomfortable when the car was sideways, but I think that was because I was so focused on the comp that I didn't care about how I felt. You know, and this, it's the complete opposite. I'm like, this sucks. But, you know, That's gonna happen a lot, and that's a good thing. It's never a bad thing in rock crawling to, well, it is a bad thing to roll over in rock crawling, unless you're in a buggy like this. That's how we get comfortable in the sport. That's how we get used to the car, is seeing where the limits are. Which, I mean, I'm sure that's the same in racing, but if you roll over in racing, fast racing at least, it hurts a lot more than in rock crawling. So, I'm gonna move on to the last obstacle, which I thought was earlier, but clearly not, because yeah, I didn't realize that we weren't to the bottom yet. So, just trugging along, getting up these little things. It's really not anything difficult. So, honestly, I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be. But, you know, that happens sometimes. Gotta have some fun, right? Again, not gonna lie, I made that obstacle way too hard, because it wasn't an obstacle, it was an up, and then I took it to the driver, so it was a little crack. It wasn't anything until I made it something, and it was dumb. It's just slipping and sliding. So dumb. I love when it's wet, because it makes it really difficult, and it's really fun in the moment. But then I'm looking over the video and I'm like, bro, really? Come on, man. It's so slippery. I'm so worried about falling in a hole, even though I've got all this suspension and all this big tires, and I'm like, come on, dude. Just a little side drop before the next one. Nice little slow ramp type drop there. Now we're getting to the main drop. Which this is another one where you have to hug the driver's side. Otherwise it'll hurt. But this one's a lot bigger. It's just longer, and the end, it has a bigger end drop as well. But I mean, overall, it really was not that bad. So, you see it's still in first. I'm just trying to control that drop, but there's no good way to control it, honestly. But that was drop 1 of this little 2-drop thing. And this one, it's just 2 bouldery type rocks that you're dropping off of. I mean, the drop's only probably 3 feet? Relatively small drop. Yeah. Alrighty. That's it for this video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.